Alright, so today is the big day that we have all been waiting for. You have seen me clean out all the dust and grime from the components of my PC, and now it's time to put everything back together and rebuild my workhorse from the ground up. So most of the parts that are going in you'll recognize from my previous setup. But there are two big upgrades this time around that I definitely want to talk about, so let's dive in and check them all out. So the Ryzen 7 5700X is still a fantastic performer even in 2025. The 8-core 16-threaded processor provides enough muscle for handling all of my workloads, and honestly this thing hasn't even broken a sweat even during gaming. So next up we have these 4 sticks of DDR4 courtesy of ADATA. These are not the fastest in the world, but look at these. The silver metallic heat shields and the gorgeous RGB are definitely going to be pure eye candy. For storage, I'll be holding on to my Samsung 980 Pro and 980 NVMe SSDs. My main OS and programs are going to live inside them, and I've got to say, these are blistering fast even by today's standards. The additional storage options will include my Crucial and Kingston SATA SSDs. Not the fastest of storage, but these are great for dumping footage, assets, and backups. Now speaking of our motherboard, I have to say my MSI B550 Gaming Plus is looking quite handsome right now after that deep clean. That stealthy black look along with those rock solid VRMs make this thing hold up quite good even in 2025. Not to mention this one does come with quite a great selection of IO at the back, so that's really appreciated. The CX750M from Corsair continues being my no-frills and reliable PSU of choice, so this is going in as well because it gets the job done without breaking a sweat. Now coming to our GPU, the RTX 4070 Windforce OC from Gigabyte is quite a beautiful triple fan card with a chunky heatsink. Now of course my 5700X is definitely not unleashing its full power, but this is a future-proof investment for when I eventually plan on upgrading to something like Intel's Core Ultra series of processors. Alright, so let's talk about the upgrades right now, and the first one has to be in the cooling department with Deepcool's LQ360. Now this is my first ever AIO and I'm going all in with cooling this time around. A full 360mm radiator, Deepcool's latest 5th gen pump, and enough thermal headroom to keep even the 5700X icy cool even under heavy editing sessions. This thing also comes with a screen to display all the essential information, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Now housing everything will be our next new upgrade, the Deepcool CG530 4F. It's a dual chamber beauty of a case with 4 pre-installed ARGB fans, excellent airflow, and plenty of support for radiators and cable management. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to building inside this bad boy. And last but not the least, I've got myself these custom PSU extension cables from Sensei Mods, along with 3 add-on Deepcool FD12 fans. So not only are these going to add that premium blink factor that I was talking about earlier, but with a total of 10 fans right now inside the case, airflow is definitely going to be ridiculous. So as you can tell, this isn't going to be just a simple rebuild, but a full-on transformation of my PC. Fresh case, killer cooling, custom cabling, and all the horsepower from my old workhorse now dressed up to impress. So grab some coffee, kick back, and let's get building. Oh man, this thing has turned out to be an absolute jaw-dropper. Not only does this thing look quite exquisite, but this thing is also quite powerful. The build process, I would say, went on pretty much smoothly, but there were a couple of hurdles that I definitely want to talk about in this video. Now first off, the CG530 is definitely not the most spacious case in the world when you're cramming in an ATX motherboard and a ton of extras. I initially had some trouble connecting the USB 3 connector behind these massive FD12 fans, and this is where a little lifesaver came in. This low profile USB 3 extension cable that I got from the one and only Sahil. Absolute clutch moment, I would say. And the second thing has got to do with my PCIe Wi-Fi card. My GPU and the fans at the bottom of my case end up blocking the PCIe 1X ports on my motherboard, so yeah, I had to order another extension cable from Amazon this time, and until that arrives, I would say the Wi-Fi card is kind of on bench. But keeping that to the side, I'm gonna say the CG530 is actually kind of a decent case for PC builders. Sure, if you got a jungle of say fan cables and RGB cables along with extensions at the back of the case, the cable management kind of gets tricky. But I've got to say I'm proud of how clean this one has turned out. That's the beauty of a dual chamber design, ladies and gents. It hides the chaos and leaves you with a build like this that you can proudly show off. So before wrapping up, I want to say a huge thank you to the team at Acro and Deepcool for sponsoring my two new upgrades, along with Sensei Mods and Sahil for hooking me up with the last minute components that turned out to be an absolute lifesaver, I would say. But the biggest shout out definitely goes to each and every one of you out there for your constant love and support. Because things like these wouldn't have been possible without it, and I really appreciate that. So I guess that pretty much sums it up for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next one.